Hey, Pleasure here. So overall, this new generation, if you can call it that, of consoles is pretty cool. The launch has been pretty okay. There hasn't been any major things, but they've still made some blunders. What blunders have they made? Well, here's a list of what I came up with. Before we start that, a quick note. I don't have my capture card set up yet. The game I'm showing is definitely not next gen, but I find it amusing. Alright, first blunder goes to PlayStation 5, which is no 1440p support. So, not all of us play games on the couch. Some of us use monitors. The reason might be that we're PC gamers, or you might happen to know that monitors are superior to TVs in many ways. That's another video for another time. But yeah, a lot of people have monitors, and currently the sweet spot for monitors is 1440p. You can get 1440p monitors that have nice refresh rates of 144, 165 Hertz, and the resolution looks great. You don't see individual pixels. It looks very high resolution, but it's easier to get good frame rates on 1440p than it is on 4K. And let's note that Xbox supports 1440p no problems, but PlayStation 5, there's no good excuse really. They just couldn't be bothered, I guess. You tell me. Alright, big fail there. Next up, Xbox. We're going to switch between them. Alternate, that's the word. So Xbox, where are the games? So PlayStation 5 came out with some PlayStation 5 games. I'm very impressed by the backwards compatibility on Xbox. But that's all it is at the moment. It's like upgrading the graphics card on your PC. That's great. You can play all your same games at a higher frame rate and it won't chug as much and then so on. But I want to see what this console is capable of, and we're not seeing that. So there's not even a real good excuse from my point of view. So let's talk about architecture. So if we think about it, if you know a bit about electronics and technical stuff, you know that the Xbox Series X is just a custom PC. Zen 2 processors, which are the CPU in your Xbox Series X, they've been around since mid-2019. And they could have used like a 5700 XT to approximate the graphics horsepower. I don't know if the Xbox Series X is more powerful than that or not. Probably is. But that's a good thing. So if you give your developers a dev kit that is like, right, this is the same amount of processors and threads, cores and threads, sorry, and a graphics card that's a bit weaker than what we're going to have in the end, develop on this. When they get the real hardware later on, it's just going to run better. Remember, this is just PC stuff. It's not completely new things that they couldn't, develop for. So there's no real excuse. Big blunder. Xbox, no good. No Halo, no good. Alright, I think that was the biggest blunder in my list. Okay, next one, PlayStation 5. You can't use your PlayStation 4 controllers to play PlayStation 5 games. You can on Xbox, as in, you know what I mean, Xbox One controls on the Xbox Series. So let's look at this reasonably. So the PlayStation 5 does have a controller that's not just an evolution, you could argue. It has fancy new gadgets and adaptable triggers, all that sort of stuff. So some games on the PlayStation 5 are going to use those new features. Alright? I understand that. However, let's come back to reality here. A lot of games aren't going to be using those new controller features pretty much at all, like gimmick level at best, because as you should know, most games are cross-platform. Most games aren't going to be using those controller features, so this should be a game, like a per game thing. You could put like a warning on the games that have to use the PlayStation 5 controller. And Sony have done this properly in the past with the PlayStation 2. Only a few games like Burnout 3, I remember, was one of them. You couldn't use a DualShock 1 on that game. But most games you could, and it worked absolutely fine. So, yeah, I can only conclude that it's a greedy anti-consumer move. Not a great look, Sony. Get good hire me as a consultant so you don't make this sort of boo-boo in the future. Alright, next up, Xbox Series X. So basically, let's go through a little example here. You spend your Christmas at your grandparents' place and they don't have online. You get a Xbox Series X from your significant other or as a present or whatever, and you go to give it a go, because you're excited about your new console, yeah? Oh, you don't have internet at your grandparents' place. Oh, unlike every other console ever, you can't play it. It's useless. You got a brick. So I got this information from Dreamcast Twitter. It's been confirmed in other places. So I'll put a link down below where you can see that. But it's common knowledge by now. If you don't have the internet or the Microsoft servers are down at the time that you are first opening your Xbox Series X and plugging it in, you have a brick that can't play games. Not good. Alright, next up, PlayStation 5 again has a disappointing USB-C port. So you might think, wow, PlayStation 5 a USB-C port. I can plug in my super high-speed hard drive and back up my games on it, or play my PlayStation 4 games from it, or whatever you want to do. Now, how about we try a USB-C monitor? It doesn't work. That's disappointing. So I knew this was going to happen because for USB-C monitors to work, they need DisplayPort Alt mode on USB-C, the symbol for which is not on the PlayStation 5 USB-C port. It's just disappointing. It's a missed opportunity. It's a blunder. It would have been cool. I've tried 2 different USB-C monitors. No dice. Alright, next up, Xbox Series X. Your profile is locked to one console in terms of playing games, even when you're playing from a disc. This is stupid. So, I have Crimson Skies, an original Xbox game on my Xbox Series X, okay? I put in my disc, okay? And I do the same thing with my old Xbox One X. And yes, they're both different discs, so I own Crimson Skies multiple times. I do this because I like to, run LAN parties and so on. I won't get into that now. So they're both running from, they both have the disc inside. So you think I could play them, right? Well, no, I can't. So it keeps me from playing on both of the consoles, and I had to basically make a dummy account on my old Xbox One X so I could play them in that video I did recently about the generations of Xbox System Link. So that was pretty poo. This is a real limitation if you host LAN parties like me, and it's just a general pain. Especially, there's no reason. I understand if it is online, you own it online only, and you shouldn't be able to play it in 2 places at once. I get it. But if I own the disc, and I own multiple games, I should be able to play it. Get good, Xbox. Now, just a quick note here. I haven't tried this with PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, so this might be a blunder from them as well. I don't know yet. Cannot confirm. Alright, so this next blunder is both Xbox and PlayStation, and that is no CD support. So, I might be wrong on this. It's possible. I don't think I am. I'll go into why. So, I can't find a Blu-ray drive on the market that doesn't support CDs. There's a good reason for that. So, if you have a look, you'll find lots of Blu-ray drives on the market, and you'll find that they all work with CDs. The reason for that is they always work with DVDs as well, and the DVD laser has no problem reading CDs. So if you have a look into a Blu-ray drive, there's 2 lasers there. There's the DVD one and the Blu-ray one. DVD one reads CDs absolutely fine. Link below. Now, why is this important? Well, it's not important to a lot of people, but also to a lot of people it is important. For example, my wife likes to play CDs sometime, and she sees a box that I have on the home theater setup that has a slot for putting in CDs and DVDs and stuff, and then it doesn't work. Good work. That's great. Now, I know it's not popular to own your own albums anymore because of all the benefits of streaming, like having poor quality, not really owning it, needing an internet connection, and rant skipped. So the point is that this was a feature on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 that was taken away last generation for no good reason. As I said, if your optical drive can read DVDs, it can read CDs. And it still isn't back. Double reason why this is bad for PlayStation 5 is that you don't have original PlayStation support. I can't put in Final Fantasy VII that I still own on PlayStation with the original discs and play it like I can on my PlayStation 2 and my PlayStation 3. And I can do it without the CD on the PlayStation Portable, the PlayStation TV, the PlayStation Vita. You get the idea. So Sony can write an emulator that, has written emulators that work on all these previous generations, but they couldn't be asked doing it on the PlayStation 4, and they can't do it on the more powerful PlayStation 5. So this is just being lazy, taking away features. That's not cool. It's very possible to keep all these things, to be able to rip your CDs and play them. This is not a new feature. But it's going to take some effort. Wow, they might have to hire one person. Oh, can't have that. Oh dear, no way. Not a fan of these features being taken away. They were there before. There's no good reason why they can't be now. Get good. Alright, another dual Xbox and PlayStation blunder is that they're already behind in terms of PC power. Now, both consoles are based on the AMD Zen 2 processor, which was a great choice for gaming up until, about a month ago, or a month or two ago, where I would have advised you to wait for Zen 3. Do note that for pure gaming, Intel was better then, and now it is Zen 3 has overtaken it. Zen 3 is better. So when did Zen 3 came out? It came out like a few days ago. Oh, when did the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 come out? A few days ago. Oh, they stuffed up. It's already out of date. Now, to be clear, this is not a big deal really. There's still a very good deal for the price, performance and so on. But I would have been fine to wait an extra month and get the Zen 3 version of the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. That's just me. Now, there's probably all sorts of reasons why that is the case, so I'm not going to be too harsh on them here. So, next one goes to Xbox Series X, and that is because it has only Wi-Fi 5, or as it used to be known as 802.11ac. So basically it doesn't have AX or Wi-Fi 6 as it's now called, and this is a big deal because it wasn't just a thing that was an increase in speed. It did so much more. Go research what Wi-Fi 6, the benefits of Wi-Fi 6 over Wi-Fi 5, and yeah, it's future-proofing basically. Alright, so basically Microsoft dropped the ball there because PlayStation 5 has Wi-Fi 6, so does the computer that I'm building behind me and so on. Please know that you shouldn't be using Wi-Fi anyway. I'm a big proponent of wired Ethernet connection. If you can't do that because your router is in another room or something, then I suggest you try out Ethernet over Power or MoCA, M-O-C-A, if you have antenna points in both of those parts of the houses, so you can get a stable wired connection to your router. It's going to be better than Wi-Fi. Alright, so the score is Xbox Series X 6 blunders, PlayStation 5 blunders, possibly 6, depending on the physical disc multiple location stuff with the same account, which is heaps dumb. Alright, now, did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Do the YouTube things. Bye bye.